Oh my goodness, what a week we had of NFL last Sunday. It is Thursday. Patriots Jets play today. And oh my goodness, we had so many upsets. Let's get into it right now. Let's get into our week 3 NFL predictions. We're going to our week 2 power rankings as well. The week 1, we went 14-2. We went 14-2. We were dominant. This week though was very, very different. We went 7-9, and I'm not complaining with a couple of the picks because the Buccaneers, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, beat the Detroit Lions. And oh my goodness, I'm glad I got that one wrong. That was a great game. Probably the game of the week, in my opinion. It was a down to wire the game. And now people are saying Baker's an MVP. That would be incredible. But yeah, this week we went 7-9. Last week, week 1, we went 14-2. So if I'm doing the math correctly, we are 21-11 in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. Look, we're doing pretty good. 21-11 is not terrible. And let's get into our week 2 power rankings right now. We'll start with the AFC. Kansas City Chiefs. If you haven't watched any of these videos before, if you're new to the channel, what we do every Thursday, these videos drop 7:30 Eastern, so 6:30 for me. So actually be 6:30 Eastern for me. So I drop these videos 6:30 my time, and I put out week 3 NFL predictions. Next week will be week 4, week 5. You get it every single week. I'll put out a prediction video, and sometimes the videos might be like earlier in the week if stuff's going on, but what I do is I go over my power rankings, and then we go over my week 3 predictions. So this week, and that happens every single time. If you're new to the channel, that's how we do it on this channel. All right, starting with the AFC, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 2-0. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 26-25 on Sunday. It was a great game. An interference call costs the Bengals to lose. And the key factor for the Chiefs right now is Patrick Mahomes, and him throwing to Rashee Rice is looking pretty good. Rashee Rice looks very, very good. That Cam Taylor-Britt one-handed interception was absolutely insane. And Chiefs are going to be number 1 here for a while until they lose, and they might still be number 1. Houston Texans are number 2. What did I say last week? I said last week that the Houston Texans defense would be the MVP for them. They were on fire. I think they got like 5 sacks on Caleb Williams on Sunday Night Football. They're 2-0. They look very, very good. Buffalo Bills, 2-0, another 2-0 team. James Cook, he looked outstanding last week. He's going to be incredible this year, I believe. Hopefully he's good his whole career. Running back, sometimes they have one good voice crack alert. Sometimes they have one good season, and then they don't do pretty good. But James Cook, he played pretty good last year. This year, he looks absolutely outstanding. Buffalo Bills, 2-0. Los Angeles Chargers, 2-0. The running game, J.K. Dobbins, is going to be one of our best players of the week. We'll get into that very, very soon. But J.K. Dobbins is incredible. I pray he does not get hurt. He usually gets hurt, so hopefully he does not get hurt this year. He might get like 1,500 rushing yards. He is incredible. Chargers 2-0. The Jets, I have them at number 5 actually, ahead of the Steelers. Might be a little shocker, but I feel like the Jets have a little bit better offense, 1-1. So they're 1-1. This first non-undefeated team. Their corners are outstanding. That's why they won last week, because their corners. That Calvin Ridley, that one touchdown catch he had. Oh my goodness, how did he catch that? 2 guys right in front of him. Will Levis threw a dot. Touchdown Titans. They still lost though. Titans are losing some rough ones this year. But I think Aaron Rodgers, he's going to get in the groove of things, and the Jets are going to be pretty good. They're 1-1. I have them at number 5 on my list. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have them at number 6. They're 2-0. Will Justin Fields start the rest of the year? I don't know. I feel like he can if he wins this game this week. I forgot who they face. Let me check that out real quick. The Steelers go against the Los Angeles Chargers. That's gonna be a good one right there. We'll go into that game in just a second, but Steelers 2-0. TJ Watt, outstanding. You know how the Steelers are. I have the Ravens at 7 just because they're the Ravens. It's going to be hard to not put them on this list. I'm the number 7 just because I feel like if they'll go on a little win streak. A rough couple games. If they lose next week, they will not be on this list. Is Lamar good? Lamar does not look great out there. I drafted him for my fantasy team. He's giving me a lot of points because of his rushing yards, but he doesn't look too great on the field if you're a Ravens fan. I have number 7. I have the Raiders at number 8. Is the offense for the Raiders actually good? Gardner Minshew looked not too great in the first half, and then absolutely threw a dot to Devontae Adams in the third or fourth, probably in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth. And oh my goodness, Gardner Minshew put on a show in that fourth quarter, and they ended up beating the Baltimore Ravens. I don't have them over the Ravens just because the Raiders lost to the Chargers. They played terrible against the Chargers. At least the Ravens put up a fight against the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. For number 9, I actually have the New England Patriots. I have them over the Dolphins. Patriots played pretty good against the Seahawks last week. They brought the game to overtime, and they lost 23-20. They lost, but Patriots don't look too terrible. They played tonight against the Jets. Probably a great. Wow, I've been waiting for this game all week. I'm kidding, obviously. Jets, Patriots. It's going to be a rough one to watch. It's not the most exciting matchup ever. But I have Patriots 1-1. Ramondre Stevenson, he's going to keep dominating. And for our last spot for the AFC, Miami Dolphins. With Tua being out, can they win games? I don't think they can. If they're starting Skylar Thompson is not good. And the Dolphins are going to be pretty bad if Tua doesn't come back. They signed Tyler Huntley. I think they should be starting Tyler Huntley instead. Tyler Huntley brought the Ravens technically to a playoffs in 2022. He technically did that because Lamar was hurt like all year, and Tyler Huntley started. So he's technically a Pro Bowler, so Pro Bowl quarterback with the Dolphins. And for my 3 best players, I always do 3 or 4 best players for every single conference every week. Our first best player is J.K. Dobbins at 131 yards. He had 17 carries. He had a TD. And the big stat is he averaged 7.7 yards per carry. Absolutely outstanding. My second best player, James Cook. 78 rushing yards, 2 TDs. He had 1 receiving touchdown. He had a catch and 17 yards and 11 carries. We already talked about James Cook. He's outstanding. And then I put Devon Achane on this list. You know, they're going to give him the ball a lot. Oh, my goodness. I had Raheem Mostert on my fantasy team week 1. They could not stop giving the ball to Devon Achane. They did the same exact thing on Thursday. Raheem Mostert didn't play, but, doesn't matter. Devon Achane got the ball tons of times. He had 96 yards, no TDs, though. So going to the NFC now. The NFC, wow, this might be the best conference. AFC, there's a lot of non-win teams. Patriots top 10, Oh my goodness, the NFC is very, very weird. And for my number 1 spot, I have the New Orleans Saints. And for 3 of the teams on this list, it's going to be the same exact category. Can Derek Carr win the MVP? Oh my goodness, Saints have scored 91 points in 2 games. At number 2, I have my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, actually. I think we look really, really good. We just beat the Lions. We had a beatdown on the Commanders, and we should be an easy one this week against the Denver Broncos. Can Baker Mayfield win the MVP? This is going to be a weird year, I feel like. Number 3, I still have the Eagles, electrifying offense. Saquon Barkley looks good. Jalen Hurts, struggles definitely have continued. He threw a terrible interception. We did not need to. They should have just ran the ball. They still had 2 timeouts. I don't know what Jalen Hurts was doing. He should have thrown it away. And they made the Falcons win, which broke my heart because I'm a Buccaneers fan. I don't like the Falcons. I don't hate them. I don't hate them more than the Saints, and it sucks. The Saints are doing pretty good, but I cannot disagree that the Saints are the number 1 team in the NFC. Number 4 of the 49ers. Was this the 49ers' worst game of the season? They played not too great. Vikings were up the whole game, I believe, except maybe like the first quarter. But wow, Vikings look outstanding. And speaking of the Vikings, they're at my number 5 spot. They're 2-0. Can Sam Darnold win the MVP? Oh my goodness, that throw to Justin Jefferson was incredible. 97-yard touchdown. Sam Darnold, he looks great. J.J. McCarthy, he's gonna have a struggle. He's gonna be on the bench for a while. Sam Darnold is the 2024 Baker Mayfield. Number 6, I have the Detroit Lions. They did lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I think they're still going to be okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown got hurt in the final 30 seconds. He will play next week, I believe. Jared Goff does not look great, bro. He does not look good. 2 interceptions. He had that 1 interception that basically cost him the game. If they just took the sack, kicked the field goal, in that final drive, they would have kicked the game-winning field goal, and they would have beat us. Lions are going to be fine though. At number 7, I have the Seahawks. I think they're going to stick at the same spot I had last week, actually. They're 2-0. DK Metcalf is him. Oh, my goodness. I faced him in fantasy last week, and he made me lose. It was pretty tough. I lost by about 5 points. 5 points because he had Harrison Butker, and Harrison Butker hit the game-winning field goal, and it cost me the game. It sucked. I almost won, but, sometimes you don't win in fantasy. Number 8, I had the Atlanta Falcons. They would not be on this list if they did not. Actually, they would probably have been at like 10. They would not be on this. Yeah, they'd be at 10, but they're at 8 this week because they beat the Eagles. No, not expecting that at all. I had the Eagles dominating them. I actually had Bijan Robinson fumbling. I was kind of just a guess. I had Bijan fumbling on the Monday Night Football game. He actually fumbled. Now the Falcons recovered, but he still fumbled. I don't know how I got that prediction right. I just felt like it was going to happen. Kirk Cousins looks pretty good. For number 9, I have the Dallas Cowboys. What the heck was that? That was a terrible game for them. Dak Prescott needs to be a lot more accurate. CeeDee Lamb might be regretting his contract, but Cowboys always have a stinker game, and this might have been this might have been their first one. They're going to go 12-5 probably and lose in the first round to the Packers. Number 10, I have the Packers. Wow, what a coincidence. 1-1. Is Malik Willis good? Oh my goodness. They beat the Colts. I did not expect that to happen at all. And yeah, definitely a shocker. Malik Willis looked pretty good, actually. I think he had like 170 receiving yards. Josh Jacobs had 150 rushing yards, I believe. Oh my. I faced against Josh Jacobs in fantasy as well. I went against Justin Jefferson too. It was not a good week for me, but I still almost pulled it off. That finishes out the NFC Power Rankings. I have 4 of the best players here for the NFC, actually. Aiden Hutchinson, 4.5 sacks and a forced fumble. I have Kyler Murray, who had a perfect passer rating. He had 266 yards and 3 TDs. Oh my goodness. Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be amazing this year. And then Alvin Kamara, probably the best player of the week, to be honest. 180 yards, 4 TDs, 22 touches. He looked incredible. And then I have 4 players, like I said, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is the 4th one with 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 TDs, and all that was in the first half. Let's get into my Week 3 NFL predictions. I feel pretty – this week is going to be one of the most important weeks. You have a lot of good matchups here, a lot of good conference matchups, I should say, and a lot of prove-it matchups. And this week's going to be very, very good. And let's get into it right now. We have Thursday Night Football, which is tonight. We have the Jets versus Patriots, Jacoby Brissett versus Aaron Rodgers. We wish it would be Drake May, but, Jacoby Brissett has won a game, so it's kind of hard to bench someone who wins a game for the New England Patriots. And they beat the Bengals as well, but, pretty good. And speaking of the Bengals, I didn't even have in my top 10. If they win next week and the Dolphins lose, they'll be in my top 10, but Week 3 NFL predictions. I have the Jets winning 26-17. Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson looks incredible. And when they're up by a lot, Breece Hall is going to get over 100 rushing yards. I can just feel it. He looks absolutely incredible out there. Breece Hall looks very, very good. Jets win 26-17. Let's go into the early game slate on Sunday. Buccaneers-Broncos. I have the Buccaneers winning 37-7. No need to keep talking about this game. Buccaneers are going to dominate. Giants-Browns. Browns going to win 23-12. The reason I have them winning 23-12 is that their offense is not good. They won last week against the Jaguars, which shocked me. But Giants are going to score 12 points. They're not going to score a touchdown. But Malik Neighbors last week, he had a good game. He could have made the list for the best players in the NFC. Malik Neighbors is going to be a dominant force. I have him getting over 70 yards in this one. And no TDs, but he's going to get a lot of catches. Browns win 23-12 just because of their defense. Eagles-Saints, I have an upset. If you think it's an upset, it's not. According to me, it's not an upset since I have the Saints over the Eagles in the power rankings. I have the Saints winning 33-30. Now, I can't be biased in these predictions, or I'll just say the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons will go 0-17, and the Buccaneers will go 17-0. But Saints are going to win this game. I feel like their offense is outstanding. I have them scoring 33 points, which will put them to 124 points on the year. And oh my goodness, Saints look really good. Eagles, Jalen Hurts needs to stop throwing interceptions, and they will be fine. This game is going to be good. It might be the best game of the week, but the next game I have is the Texans versus Vikings. Yes, this is my game of the week. It's really weird, but I have the Texans-Vikings game of the week. I think a lot of people will agree with me. I saw a lot of comments about it as well. I was debating between the Eagles, Saints, Texans, Vikings. I saw a lot of people were going Texans, Vikings for game of the week, so I picked them as well. Texans winning 27-23 though. CJ Stroud, defense going to get 4 sacks. Defense for the Texans is going to be the MVP for them. Mark my words, their defense is going to be incredible. You have Will Anderson Jr. on one side, Danielle Hunter on the other. You have Derek Stingley. And oh my goodness, the defense absolutely incredible. Texans win 27-23. Sam Darnold gets his first loss as a Minnesota Viking. We have Packers Titans. This is the Malik Willis revenge game. Nobody expected that. Malik Willis revenge game. He's going to pull off the dub against the Titans. They're going to win 22-16. Malik Willis, he's going to score 2 TDs. Josh Jacobs is going to rush one in. They're going to go for 2 for some reason, because why not? And wow, this game is actually very, very interesting. Malik Willis revenge game. Can the Titans pull it off, though? With all the injuries the Packers have, we'll have to wait and see on Sunday. We have Bears-Colts next. Bears are going to win this one 21-17. I think Caleb Williams, he doesn't look too good. His attitude doesn't look that great, as when CJ Stroud was trying to talk to him, he kept trying to push away. It didn't look like he was listening, but there's a lot of controversy on that conversation between CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams. But I have the Bears winning 21-17. I would have had the Colts winning if they beat the Packers, but Anthony Richardson is very interesting. He played incredible week 1, 3 interceptions week 2. Now, that last interception was chucking the ball deep, trying to get a Hail Mary. So he technically got 2 interceptions, but 3 is always going to show up in the stats since he technically did, but 2 interceptions that were actually mattered for the Packers. But Bears, Caleb Williams, I think this is his first good game. I think he gets over 250 passing yards. DJ Moore plays pretty good. Roma Dunze gets a breakout game. Maybe he gets like 2 TDs, maybe 1, probably just 1, maybe 0. He still hasn't scored this year, but Bears win 21-17 against the Colts. And our final game in the early game slate, I have the Chargers winning 28-17. Now, I originally had them winning 35-17, and for some reason, I don't know why I had the Chargers scoring 35 points on the Steelers' defense, so I'm switching it up to 28-17. Chargers going to win this one. J.K. Dobbins going to have another 100-plus yard rushing game. They're not going to know how to stop him. Is Justin Herbert playing? I actually don't know. If Justin Herbert doesn't play, I will go with the Steelers, but I have the Chargers winning. I think they can effectively run the ball the whole game and probably win. They have Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. I think they can win just running the ball. And Chargers going to win 28-17. Put down in the comments if Justin Herbert's going to play, or maybe it'll just be released very, very soon. We have 5 games in the late game slate, which is very, very exciting. We have the Dolphins-Seahawks for the first game we're going to predict. I have the Seahawks winning 26-16. Nothing to say here. We all know what happened to Tua. Prayers up to him. And Seahawks, they look really, really good right now. I think they go to 3-0. Panthers, Raiders. This is probably the easiest one. I had the Raiders losing 37-13 last week against the Ravens, and they won. They beat the Ravens. So I have the Raiders winning 32-10. Bryce Young got benched, and Dave Canales put out a statement that he still could be the franchise quarterback for them after benching him. Very, very weird. Dave Canales should have never left the Buccaneers. Definitely, he's going to be fired. He's going to be like Frank Reich. But he might stay at least one more year just because there's nothing he can do. It's not Bryce Young's fault. Panthers are just not a good team. Raiders win 32-10. Raiders' offense looks pretty good as well. Max Crosby, insane. 49ers, Rams. Tons and tons of injuries for the Rams. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, both on IR. Tyler Johnson is receiver 1. The former Buccaneer, former Super Bowl champ, is going to be receiver 1. I remember he had a couple good catches. He flopped a little bit to get us to the Super Bowl. I remember that play. I have the 49ers winning 24-17. I have the Rams scoring 2 TDs. I think they can drive down the field effectively because of that 49ers game. That 49ers-Vikings game, they did not play good on defense. It was very weird to watch. 49ers will win this one, though, 24-17. Brock Purdy's going to have a good game. Lions-Cardinals. This is a sneaky game of the week. Cardinals look very, very good. I have them scoring 30 points, but it's not going to be enough because the Lions are going to drop 37. They know that Jared Goff has to throw. He got to stop throwing under pressure. He's got to throw good passes. They're probably practicing that right now. And Lions are going to score effectively. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to get 2 tutties. Jameson Williams is going to get a TD. Sam Laporta is going to have a big game. And Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a good game as well. And Lions going to win 37-30, even though Kyler Murray just had the best quarterback performance last week. And then for our final game of the late game slate, we have Ravens-Cowboys. This is not the game of the week. This game is going to be very interesting to watch because I do have the Cowboys winning 30-22 and the Ravens going 0-3 to start the season. Cowboys, they had a fluke game. They're going to go back on offense, dominate the Ravens secondary, as we saw Devontae Adams do to Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey held a little bit. For some reason, Brandon Stevens was on Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was cooking. And I think CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. I think Jake Ferguson might not be playing this one. But Ezekiel Elliott doesn't look terrible, actually. But Cowboys going to win 30-22. And then for the final game on Sunday, we have 2 games on Monday. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs-Falcons. Falcons played 2 primetime games in a row. The Chiefs winning 31-26. Falcons offense looks very, very good. Drake London finally gets a touchdown. And from these primetime games, I have an MVP or 2 MVPs. But for the Chiefs here, I have Mahomes being an MVP and their D-line and safeties. The D-line's got to get to Kirk Cousins, and the safeties are got to step up. Shamari Connor got a fumble recovery touchdown. That's their safety for them. They got to step up because those deep bombs Kirk Cousins can throw. They have Darnell Mooney. We saw it last week with his touchdown. Pat Mahomes. We also predict player stats for a bunch of players. I have a bunch of players in this one, actually. I think Pat Mahomes is going to get 333 yards, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions. He's going to go 31 for 42. Kirk Cousins, 272 yards. Did I say Pat Mahomes, 2 interceptions? I think I did. Kirk Cousins, 272 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, 26 for 44. Bijan, he's going to get 93 yards in total, and then 1 TD, 18 carries. Rashee Rice is going to have 117 yards, 2 TDs, 9 catches. I feel like he's going to be the best target for him because Travis Kelce does not look good. Rashee Rice is going to be the best target for Mahomes. Drake London, 77 yards, 1 TD, 5 catches. Travis Kelce, 42 yards, 0 TDs, 3 catches. Travis Kelce, not looking good. And then Kyle Pitts will get 67 yards, 7 catches, and 0 TDs. Chiefs won 31-26. Monday Night Football, we have 2 games, and also one big thing. While I was making my list, Isaiah Pacheco is out for 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. That is going to be a rough one because now they have to rely on their new signing, Kareem Hunt, the team who drafted him, and they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who cannot stay healthy. It's going to be a weird one because the Chiefs run the ball a lot. Monday Night Football, for the first game, Jaguars-Bills. The Bills winning 32-17 with the MVP being Josh Allen and James Cook. Josh Allen will get 227 yards, 4 TDs. He's going to throw 0 interceptions, and he's going to go 23 for 33. Josh Allen's also going to have a rushing touchdown. James Cook, 107 rushing yards. He's going to have 1 reception TD, 27 receiving yards, and 25 carries. Trevor Lawrence is going to have a down game, 192 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He's going to go 16 for 34. Travis Etienne, 87 rush yards, 46 receiving yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. Bills win 32-17. And for the final game of the week, we have the Commanders versus the Bengals. And I have a weird MVP here. Chase Brown. He's going to dominate. And the Bengals corners. I feel like Chase Brown's going to have an insane game. I don't know why. I just felt like it. I felt like putting Chase Brown, their backup running back, Zach Moss is their starter, but Chase Brown, if he can have a huge game in this one, he's going to start. Zach Moss isn't going to get a lot of carries, but Joe Burrow, 262 yards, 3 TDs, 0 picks. He's going to go 27 for 34. Jane Daniels, he can have 107 rushing yards, but only 142 passing yards. 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He can go 14 for 31. Terry McLaurin, 72 yards, 1 TD, 6 receptions. Jamar Chase, this is going to be his first big game with Joe Burrow going against the Commanders. Commanders' corners are not good. Jamar Chase is going to drop 108 yards, 2 TDs, 11 receptions. And then Chase Brown, 22 carries, 117 yards, and a TD. I think they're just going to run the ball, especially if they're up big in the fourth quarter. They're just going to be pounding down the field with Chase Brown, and he's going to dominate. And for Brian Robinson Jr., I have him getting 87 yards, 23 carries, and 1 fumble. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Week 3 NFL predictions. Wow, this season's gone by super, super fast. We're already here at week 3. College football's in week 4 right now, so crazy how things can go that fast. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Week 4 NFL predictions next week. You know the drill. Shorts come out on the channel as well. College football content, Madden content, No Money Spent coming out very, very soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to be a part of the Go Cane, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.